Oh, hello everyone, welcome to Bayern Now, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Just grab the mic to make it closer. So apparently, piss off. Shut up, as the British would say. Alphonso Davies has been injured. No. So apparently, Serge Gnabry and Corentin Tolisso decided they weren't happy being crap second teamers behind Thomas Muller and Leon Goretzka. They just wanted to injure Davies, our best, most consistent player over the last 3 months. No, you're not allowed to injure Davies. You're not allowed to injure Davies. Davies is, no, come on. Okay, so apparently the club have come out and said it is a minor injury, which for those of you who don't have brains, it means it's going to be like a few days where he's going to just have to rest. And this is actually a blessing in disguise, because it means that we can rest Davies, man. Do you know how many times this guy's been playing for like 17 games now, or 13 straight starts. I don't care how energetic he is. I've gotten the same injury too, from a similar situation. We were in training, right? I've been playing every game, and one little nibble, one little kick on the ankle, one little tackle, and I was out for 4 days. It wasn't that big of a deal, and it's not like it feels any different. You just get pissed because you're just sitting there like 4 days, and then like it's not a huge injury. It's not like a bone is broken. It's just like a touch on the ankle. You know, when you played on the same ankle, because I play on the exact same foot. By that I mean the way I play needs me to play on the exact same foot. Alphonso Davies has been playing every game, and you know he's been getting tackled in the same spot. Did you watch the game versus Leipzig where they kept coming at Davies and nipping him on the ankle? They did that a lot, Leipzig. Leipzig kept trying to, injure Davies. I think they had in mind, hey, let's injure Alphonso Davies because he's one of Bayern's best players at the moment. Let's injure him. So I think that's genuinely what happened. Corentin Tolisso, Serge Gnabry, you're crap. I mean, Tolisso, this isn't the first tackle I've seen Tolisso absolutely wipe out someone without winning the ball, and it's disgraceful. I don't know what type of, Odriozola got Perisic injured. What's going on with our team? And now Serge Gnabry and Corentin Tolisso get our most important player this season injured. Well, that's an exaggeration, but what's going on with it seems some players are trying to really prove themselves, because what situation do you see one player getting, it's two in like 3 weeks we've gotten injured. Hopefully he's out for a day and back tomorrow. That's hopefully. So apparently ice pack, that's it, and then he was taken off to the cabin, and the Bayern doctors should know what they're doing. If the club says it's minor, then it's minor. If they say it's major, then it's major. But it's Bayern Munich we're talking about. This could be the biggest injury of Davies' career, and they say it's minor. Davies needs a rest. So the next 2 games, I want to see Alphonso Davies get a rest. This is just a sign. If Hansi Flick gets Davies injured for a long period of time, I'm going to be pissed. We need more Davies, we don't need any more fullback. The amount of center backs we have, we don't need more. Well, we need one center back, but we don't need more fullbacks. We have Davies. Hopefully it's just a day or 2 or 3 days or 4 days. I came back with the exact same injury after 2 days. Or was it 4? It was 4 days. I came back. I actually thought I had broken something in my ankle, because you feel so uncomfortable. The best way to treat it, walk as little on that ankle as possible, and try not to do too much with your ankle, because your ankle is one of your most important bones in your legs. It's constantly being moved. It's really important for mobility. People don't understand just how important their ankles is. Try standing up for like 5 minutes straight in the exact same spot. You'll start really dying. I mean, his backup. We have Odriozola as a fullback. Pavard can play left back. Alaba can play left back. Lucas Hernandez can play left back. Christian Falk said it's not a big injury. Thankfully, Christian Falk. Thank God for him. Because if I didn't have Christian Falk, I wouldn't have enough things to be angry about when it comes to Bayern and transfer windows. So, I'm glad it's not a major injury, but this is just a reminder to this team. I know they're excited, but why are we injuring each other? Do you hear this coming from Liverpool? Hey, Van Dijk got injured by Sadio Mane. No, doesn't happen for any other club. Why is it happening to us so frequently? We always get players injured by ourselves. Boateng might just have a hit on his back. What's happening to our training? We need to just scratch Sabine Strata and try and get a better training ground. I don't know. It has to be the pitch. Why do so many of our players get injured from training? It has to be that pitch. Even the Allianz Arena, that pitch is so suspect. The amount of players, you know what, actually, the Bundesliga in general, the amount of players in the Bundesliga that get injured, I'm not exactly sure if it's, I'm starting to think that the Bundesliga has some sort of rule on how to make pitches that, why do so many players from the Bundesliga get injured so frequently? Everyone's injury prone. I don't understand. Look at Emre Can. Emre Can, a player that usually doesn't pick up that many injuries. First game for Dortmund, and he almost gets a big injury. If he didn't pull out of that challenge, landing awkwardly, I don't know. It has to be something to do with the Bundesliga, and I think our training ground has that. We're just cursed. I don't know. Leipzig had 2 injuries. How do you have 2 injuries in important positions like that? Yeah, these injuries are honestly infuriating. Yeah, like for example, a player is playing so well, you're excited to see what they can do going forward, and then they go pick up a little ankle injury and are out for the rest of the season. Look at that Juventus guy, Demiral or something like that, that Turkish defender from Juventus. I was really excited. I was actually like genuinely interested in what he was going to do at Juventus. I was interested in the transfer. Turns out he's out for the rest of the season. I hate injuries. Like me getting that one injury I got a couple months back. It sets your mind into, people don't realize that. A lot of fans are like, oh, he'll come back and be the exact same. Oh yeah, he won't lose his ability, but he'll lose a little bit of confidence. Davies has probably thought this entire time that I'm untouchable, I'm invincible, I can keep going 100 miles per hour, no one is going to stop me. Now he might start pulling out of challenges that he should be winning because he's injured. Only if we had a player like Phil Jones and Lingard. Well, Jesse Lingard doesn't get injured. Phil Jones does a world-class action followed by an injury. Actually, he makes a very crucial mistake, which leads to him making a world-class recovery, and then he starts holding his hamstring to signal for an injury. Phil Jones is a funny guy. His faces are so hilarious. I can't stand these injuries, and I don't understand why it's only us where in training it happens. But the Bundesliga, every team gets so many injuries. It's not normal. It really isn't. Maybe it's the fitness departments, right? It has to be. Maybe the doctors in Germany aren't that educated on injuries. We need sports experts who can show us, like we need who Liverpool have. Liverpool have proper recruitment. Why do you think Van Dijk, Alisson did kind of get an injury, but it wasn't crucial. Like these teams don't get those big 7-month out injuries. Niklas Zula, the same injury. That exact thing happened to Coman after his second big injury. He was less confident in duels. Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Since this is less of an important injury, this isn't as crucial, but it still my injury made me kind of relax a little bit. I'm a very aggressive, I consider myself a very aggressive CDM, but at the same time, I'm incredibly composed on the ball. I love dribbling out of the back. I've lost possession countless times because I'll go through like 3 players, come back and lose the ball. I emulate my game around Ronaldinho, but I'm a CDM, so it's very odd, and I do a lot of flicks. So that's one thing I noticed about myself. I wasn't as aggressive as normal. I was just trying to pull out and try to feel the game and try to survive rather than get another injury. The same thing happened to Coman, SS98. The exact same thing. Kingsley Coman, huge future ahead of him, gets injured every other game. It's very, very frustrating. I don't understand if it's his medical or even his body, because some people's bodies are just not meant for this. Why does Kimmich never get injuries? Maybe his body just doesn't want to be injured, but he will get an injury at some point. Everyone will get injured. That's the nature of the game, but not as frequent as Bayern players do. Like Perisic, one of the most fit players in the squad. I never thought Perisic would get an injury for no reason. Perisic was meant to be that guy who you can rely on, and then he gets tackled once in training and he's injured. Odriozola was set from Real Madrid as a secret spy to injure Ivan Peresinho, because Real Madrid knew Peresinho would score 3 goals against them, so they tried to get him injured, and that's annoying. I hate that so much. Injuries infuriate me. I know there's nothing more worse for a player than to wake up knowing that you can't play the one thing you do, and you can't go enjoy your job. Imagine your job is you're in an office, maybe you're creating videos, you're editing videos, whatever it is, or you're an engineer, and you wake up and you realize that, oh, I'm banned from work because of some weird reason. Injuries are exactly like that. Imagine school. Well, actually, imagine you're meeting one of your friends, and you set a date, you set a time, right? You're going to be there, they're going to be there, they're psyched, excited, and a few hours before, they phone you, and they say, hey, no, I can't make it. You know how infuriating that would be. That's exactly how an injury is. And why is it in February as well? It always happens for us in February and March. These like little injuries before the major matches. No, I need everyone fit for that Champions League against Chelsea. I do not want to lose. It's one of those things where if I lose, that's on me. That's my reputation gone. I've said it. I said we'll win against Chelsea. Do I look like I want to be proven wrong? No. So please, it's not snowing anymore. Good. So please, Bayern players, do not pick up more injuries. Do not pick up little knocks. Don't do that. Stop, okay? Gnabry, Corentin Tolisso, you should be ashamed of yourself. You have a kid here who's working hard, harder than you, staying fit, and your one job is to get him injured. Gnabry and Tolisso are players that recently picked up injuries, and Tolisso is apparently to be sold. I haven't made a video on that yet, but Corentin Tolisso is to be sold. I'll talk about that in a future thing, maybe in the summer, because I could care less about where Tolisso is. Yeah, childhood Bayern fan, but I want players of quality to be at my club. I don't have any like emotional attachment to any player that used to be a Bayern fan. If Muller was crap and he was always Bayern product, I would say get the hell out of here. Look at Jesse Lingard at Manchester United. Because he's like from their youth academy, they say, oh, we should keep Lingard because he's good. No, you should. If, like, for example, you hire me for a job, right? I've on my resume it says that I'm very good at this job, right? You've known me since high school. That's the twist. You've known me since high school. You know that I could be good at this job. You hire me, I come, and then a few years later, I just become crap at my job. What? You're not gonna fire me because you knew me in high school? No, fire me. It'd be better and more fair for you to fire me because my coworkers are getting let down by me and everyone else is getting let down by me. So it's one of those things where you have to fire me. If you don't fire me, it shows how incompetent you are to the situation. So if a player, like Tolisso, who used to be a Bayern fan from his childhood, isn't performing on the actual pitch that he's supposed to be performing on, then sell him, get some money from him. He'd go to the Premier League and actually boss it. I think Tolisso has the ability to be world class, but not at Bayern. Well, I don't know. If it's Tolisso or Havertz, I'm picking Tolisso. I'm sorry. I think Havertz is one of those players where teams just haven't figured him out yet. But when they do, he doesn't have much in his locker to tell me that, or he hasn't proven to me that in big games he can step up, but also in little games he can also step up. So it's one of those things. I'm not impressed by Havertz just yet. So this Davies injury, incredibly huge. What is your lineups for the weekend, everyone watching? Well, can you tell me what you think will line up as in this weekend? Because I don't think Hansi Flick will start Davies. So do you think Hansi Flick will start Davies? If so, is it a good choice? If Davies was back fit, well, the most important thing is he's back for Chelsea. That's the only game I care about at this point. The next 2 games couldn't be more relevant to our season. If we win, we'll win those 2 games. One's at home, one's away. It's not a huge deal. When we win against Cole and Paderborn, teams I've never heard of Paderborn in my life. I'm sorry, I don't know a lot. To be fair, I haven't seen a bad performance by him. Hansi Flick just doesn't need him. I have seen terrible performances from Tolisso. You remember the Tottenham performance where he lost the ball like 5 times. He gets turned over so many times with possession. I don't know SS98. I think Tolisso is crap. Well, no, I think he's just playing crap. He's not. He's actually a really good player. I think the injury affected him mentally. But is that the player you want at Bayern? Someone who gets injured once and loses their ability, their mentality? That's not who I want. So, I'm, yeah. So, Corentin Tolisso. Apparently, Liverpool have informed Borussia Dortmund of their desire to sign Jadon Sancho, with the German club expected to demand at least 100 million for a 19-year-old. Why am I reading that? I just don't understand. I mean, why is Sancho 100 million? Also, Davies just went up in transfer market. He's worth 40 million now. No, I mean, if a team wanted Davies, they can pay us 300 million. That's how much they can. If they give us 300 million plus their best player, they can have Alphonso Davies. No, there's no way. Alphonso Davies is going to be one of those players that always is. When you think of Bayern, you think of him. He's worth 44 million now. If he performs consistently, man, please don't let this injury be huge. This guy has only had one injury in his career. One injury. That's telling me his body is strong. A twisted knee. What the hell does that even mean? 25 days, 3 games missed. Better not be another twisted knee, Fonzie. So yeah, no injuries to any players. You know what? It's always weird when a player gets back from injury. You always wanted them back, and they come back. It's so cool how Alaba is just a center back now. It's kind of really, really weird. My man just went from anything to center back. You know what's weird is Alaba actually came through our youth system. Yeah, I just realized that. Yeah, he was at Hoffenheim on loan. He was a free player. We bought Alaba for 165,000. That's insane. Pounds, euros, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that is it for the stream, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really happy to make this. Yeah, why do I always say I could just not say it. So thank you everyone for watching this. Koulibaly. You know, I just want to let me spend a few minutes just looking at the transfer market. Koulibaly's worth 82 million. He was wow. These are the types of players that I'd love Bayern to buy. Like players like Kalidou Koulibaly. I mean, 8 million to go from Genk to Napoli, and I think he was performing highly well at Genk, right? And he was under the right structure at Napoli, which made him the center back he is. Like some players just need a system to get them to a certain goal. Boateng was crap at Man City, came to the Bundesliga for Bayern Munich, where he utilizes his strength and his weaknesses were derailed into nothing. And he was the best center back in the world in 2013 and 14. Boateng was the best center back in the world for 2 seasons. Man, looking at Virgil van Dijk, I mean, this guy's won a lot of trophies. I mean, his value keeps going up, that's for sure. I mean, geez, you know, there was a time where Van Dijk out Southampton was worth 55 million. No, he was worth 33 million. Liverpool spent that much for him. I think Van Dijk wasn't that huge of like, wow, incredible. It's kind of weird because I thought, honestly, that Virgil van Dijk was always a good player. Because why would a team like Celtic pay 3 million for him in 2014 if he wasn't good? And then, literally 2 seasons after, Southampton paid 17 million. So I think Liverpool just, you know, they were like, oh, he's good. And then they bought him. That's very, very nice. You know what? I want to look at Bobby Firmino. I think Firmino is such a player, man. He is. But, I mean, 99 million, man, it would cost if you wanted Firmino. He's won Copa America, Champions League. Oh, yeah, winning trophies does make your value higher because it means that you can win trophies. Alexander Lacazette. Lacazette is 77. How is Lacazette 77 million? I'm sorry, but he's not worth 20. So, but I'm worried how good Alaba is in the air. Tammy Abraham is very tall. Yeah, the kid's like 6'5", but that's if they get the chance to win a header. Also, I think Boateng would probably be playing. And actually, most players that are that tall, even if they won headers, Chelsea don't have that number 10 to quickly. If we win the second ball, that's all that matters. And Hansi Flick has an interesting tactic. When we're defending in the air, he usually splits the center backs and gets a midfielder in between them to battle for the header. So it's a midfielder, not the center back. And if the ball goes behind, the center back is there. And if it's in front, the two midfielders in Goretzka and THIAGO are just there to recover. That's what I've noticed with our team, is that we defend air balls with a lot of players around the ball. We try to get players behind it and in front of it, so that, and our fullbacks are usually just around it. So even if we lost the header, we could easily get to the second ball. That's what Bayern used to do in 2013. Javi Martinez would be the guy winning headers, right there in that hole, and then Schweinsteiger and Toni Kroos or Thomas Müller, and our fullbacks Alaba and Philippe Lahm would be there to take the second ball. So I'm not afraid of the aerial prowess of Chelsea. They have a lot of aerial players, but I don't see Abraham scoring headers like Lewandowski. If you put Lewandowski in Chelsea, he'd improve them instantly. But if you put Abraham at Bayern, he wouldn't improve us. He'd actually be a huge downgrade, because he's not as techy as Lewandowski, and he doesn't have the aerial dominance. Like, you can be tall. Like, I'm 6 foot. Well, actually, I'm still very dominant in the air. It's not about my height. I'm 6 foot now, but when I was 5'10", I would say I was still as good in the air as I am now. Because sometimes it's not about how tall you are, it's how you use every inch. Like, when I was 5'10", a bit shorter, right, I could do this thing where I just take a few steps, and then when the ball is about to come in, I just jump over you, and maybe I put a little tug behind your back, so you couldn't jump at the same rate as I was doing. And now it's like I don't need to do that. I can just jump off just the momentum of my own height, and I've never lost a header, I don't think. Yeah, never really lost a header. If I have lost a header, it meant that the ball just wasn't where I was, and yeah, so I've never really lost a header. And I've jumped with people 6'2", 6'3", right, kids. Well, I say kids, I'm a kid too, I'm 17. So yeah, headers isn't really having to do with the height. I mean, look at Cannavaro. Cannavaro was a great player in the air, not because of his height, because he was only 5'9". He used every inch well. He would jump on the opponent rather than jumping with them. He'd come a few spaces short and just jump in. And if you can read the game well, like Alaba can, right, you can do this thing where you just jump in front of Abraham before the ball gets to him. And if Lucas Hernandez and Alaba are very tight with each other, it means that they can just double up on Abraham. And that's what Van Dijk and Joe Gomez do for Liverpool, is when a player is good in the air, like for example Harry Kane, Van Dijk and Joe Gomez would pinch inside, be very close to each other. So if one loses the header, which Virgil van Dijk won't ever lose a header, then the other one can collect the pieces. And if the other one wins a header, then the other one can win the second ball. So that's the only method we'll use to destroy Chelsea's aerial prowess. They also have Mason Mount, who isn't a good number 10, so he's not going to be able to pick up those second balls ahead of Goretzka and THIAGO. That's why you need that box to box. Goretzka is going to be doing all that dirty work of recovering the ball when we lose it, or running behind to get it before it goes out for a throw-in for Chelsea. That's what Goretzka does. People don't realize that Goretzka is so crucial to the way we play, and that's why he's one of my favorite Bayern players when it comes to his performances. And some people might say he's crap, but I say Goretzka is such an important player for us. If the months where Goretzka was injured, we lacked that dynamism, that power in midfield. When Goretzka is playing, we have power. By power, I'm not talking about like this strength. That's not what I'm talking about. Like, power is your ability to just jump over challenges and try and get the ball moving by force or by fire. I do that in my normal play. That's why I understand the whole Goretzka role. I do that. Like, sometimes I'll be in a tight space, there's no way to get out, and I'll just take the ball, take a touch, use my entire body, push through some people, and get to where I'm going. That's what I do. And I think Goretzka is so exceptional at that. So I'm not afraid that Chelsea, that gives me more confidence. Yeah, I mean, it should. I've seen so many tall players. I mean, look at tall players come up against Bayern. But because of the ability of us to win that second ball, it doesn't matter if you win the header. It matters if you win the second ball. Liverpool's front three don't win the aerial duels, right? Van Dijk usually sends an aerial ball, but it doesn't go through. But did you watch that game versus Barcelona where Jordi Alba headed the ball trying to clear it? And because Liverpool's midfield pushed so high, won that second ball, and the first goal for Liverpool came at Anfield. That's exactly what we do. We've been doing that since forever. Boateng was never really that good in the air. Hummels was okay in the air, right? But what we usually did was we defend corners in a zonal marking / man. It's a mix of both, right? We have our tall players line up straight, and then our shorter fullbacks go on opposite sides and mark a player to keep that, if someone loses their marker, we still have that zonal marking. That's what we defend corners with. So we're always decent at defending corners. Attacking corners is different. We don't really use our aerial. We just use a bit more creativity. Like Muller will run in, and Lewandowski will run in and stop, and then Goretzka will check the run, and it always happens so quickly. And I think Bayern's really good at that. So many teams, world-class teams, don't really focus on winning the aerial duels. Salah, Mane, Firmino, none of them are over 6 foot. Firmino's 5'11", Salah's 5'9", Mane's 5'9", right? So all of them are really short players compared to many defenders. They don't win the first ball, the aerial duel. They just wait, get in their positions, and pressure the back line into giving them the ball, and then Wijnaldum, Henderson just pick up possession. Next thing you know, Liverpool score a goal. So that's what I've seen Bayern do. We're just focused on winning the second ball. Under Kovac, you would say we were trying to win more headers than we needed to because of the fact that he had no plan to win the second ball. But now we do have a tactical plan. You have Goretzka shifting in THIAGO right in front of Kimmich when he goes in between the center backs. Center back split wide to make sure if the ball went anywhere, they'd gather it. I don't know why I'm talking like this. Maybe because I do it, So yeah, Abraham would get bullied by many players in the air. I mean, Abraham was against Van Dijk, and I don't think he's taller than Van Dijk too. Van Dijk is 6'4", Abraham 6'6" or 6'5", and Van Dijk absolutely bullied Abraham. I would probably do better in the air if I was playing against Abraham. I'm 6 foot, Abraham 6'5". He should naturally win every header, but that's not the case. If I can get the jump on him every time, I win the header. If I can read the cross or whatever it is better, I win the header. Winning headers isn't just always about dueling. Like most players think if you just jump higher, you'll win the header. I don't know why I'm talking. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for tuning in, SS98. And you're an amusement, CUNT. And Mia San Mia, I'll see you all later. Peace.